Last time we was on this atmosphere or this platform, we ain't do what we have to do. We ain't represent the way North Carolina should be represented. North Carolina Central should be represented. Make sure you come out, look at the man, play for the man beside you. Don't think about anything else but being selfless and giving yourself to the team. Let's go out here and get 14.
Welcome to Big Monday presented by Joseph A. Bank. It's a MEAC Monday with the Howard University Bison visiting the North Carolina Central Eagles. And welcome everybody to Durham. Doug Sherman along with Jason Capel. So glad you could be here tonight. And you got a sense for the passion that Coach has about his team. But tonight the focus is going to be on trying to slow down at least the sixth leading scorer in the country, R.J. Cole.
One of the most dynamic guards in all of college basketball. When you talk about R.J. Cole, a lucky lefty at the guard position, loves to attack, can get downhill, and he scores at all three levels. A guy that can make you pay from the three-point range, excellent off the bounce attacking, getting to mid-range, but he can also get inside and finish. And this is a young man that makes a living getting to the foul line.
And there you see the numbers leading the MEAC as a freshman in multiple categories. Sixth leading scorer in the country, leads the league in scoring and assists, and he is the man that makes things go. He is from North Jersey, played his high school basketball for a Naismith Hall of Famer in Coach Bob Hurley at St. Anthony. There's a look again at Lavelle Moten, ninth-year head coach at his alma mater.
And a guy that's done an excellent job here, fresh off of having his number retired, trying to get a win here at home. But he's built this program in his likeness. And you look down the sideline there, Kevin Nickelberry, a rebuilding project which he has taken the turn and taken the baton, leading the Bison now, which will be a great future ahead.
Well, Howard had last year's MEAC Rookie of the Year, and Charles Williams, he's number 13, the starting two-guard. And he's got, obviously, the young man who's going to win it again this year, R.J. Cole. So that is a terrific way to build your program. Every year you turn out the Rookie of the Year. And
the greatest thing about that, those guys are going to continue to get better, but they're going to get older as well. That's going to cause havoc for all of the MEAC when those guys become seniors.
Now, Cole averages, as you saw, 23.6 per game. Charles Williams at 20.2, and number 13 has his first two.
Such an athletic player, and these guys play with no fear. When you talk about Williams and Cole, they're going to drive the ball, they're going to attack you on the offensive end for a full 40 minutes.
You see John Guerra in the middle of the starting lineups there. He's a walk-on from Cary, North Carolina, who is coming off his career-high performance, 13 last time out. Bucket by Reggie Gardner Jr., freshman from Bowie, Maryland.
We have some impressive freshmen on the floor here tonight. Reggie Gardner, sharpshooter supreme. Williams tried to pay him back there, a bit too strong.
Well, Coach Moten was telling us this morning during shoot-around that Reggie Gardner can shoot, but what we need for him to do is toughen up his entire game and do other things.
That's exactly what he told me before the game here. He says his freshman guards, he starts two, are really talented. They can score the basketball, but this team is only going to get better as those guys get tougher. And Gardner there shows some toughness, taking a little bit of contact off balance, knocking down that three-point shot.
Foul on Jalen Jones, a redshirt junior for the Bison. And that sends Zachary Douglas to the line. Douglas is a Cal State Northridge transfer and limited playing time. 2 years under Reggie Theus. Of course, the head coach at Northridge, former UNLV star and longtime NBA player. And Douglas makes a pair. And with that, the Eagles with a little bit of full court pressure. Dalik Mingo has the basketball. He's a rare senior in this game from Farmingdale, Long Island.
The most experienced player on this squad. His job is to run this team, and you see defensively what North Carolina Central is doing already. They're trapping Cole on every ball screen, and live ball turnovers lead to opportunities in transition. Unable to make the first, but you follow the play and put the effort in, and Zach Douglas goes up high to throw it down.
Timeout. We'll take 30 seconds and be right back to Durham. Zachary Douglas with the first real highlight of the night, and it comes from the defense against R.J. Cole.
Well, it's going to start with defense. Coach Moulton talked about that before the game. And anytime you get live ball turnovers, you get opportunities to get easy baskets. And the Eagles are looking to do just that. Number 2 in blue has a bullseye on his back. Whenever he uses the ball screen, look for the way the Eagles are going to play it throughout this ball game.
Cole gives up the basketball. And again, he leads the MEAC in assists per game as well. So he is a willing passer for sure. All knocked out of bounds by Mingo. The Eagles will keep it. NC Central has scored every time it has possessed the basketball so far here tonight to take the early 9-2 lead. And with 4 games left in the regular season, the Eagles can finish anywhere between 1st and 10th place.
There's so much basketball still to be played before these teams take their talents to the Norfolk Scope for the MEAC tournament. Every game means so much, but you must protect your home floor.
And there's a look at the standings as we begin play here tonight. The top 10 teams in a 13-team conference, all getting ready to get together in a few weeks in Norfolk at the Scope for the annual MEAC tournament. A chance to get that one bid out of the NCAA. Pass goes out of bounds. It looked to me like it was deflected, and a couple of the Bison are saying the same thing. But indeed, it is a turnover.
North Carolina Central, there's a very clear directive in this game. Whenever 2 or 13 comes off a ball screen, they're going to be trapped at all times. The other players have to make themselves available, catch, and look to attack because they will have numbers.
Rashawn Davis gets the roll. Junior from Chicago comes in averaging 15.5 points and 8 rebounds a game. Cole's first shot is good.
He shot that one from Chapel Hill. You have to know where he is at all times. You can't backpedal or be on your heels. This young man has the blinking green light to shoot at any time.
Big to big, good passing. The layup, though, missed. That's going to be an issue for Howard tonight defensively, trying to match up inside and on the glass.
North Carolina Central loves to use their high-low action.
I asked R.J. Cole this morning, is it fair to compare you at all to that other freshman sensation point guard out of Oklahoma, Trey Young? And he said his Cousins makes the bucket. R.J. Cole said, you know what? The person I see most in myself, in my style of play, is James Harden.
Well, just the guy that's probably the leading MVP candidate right now in the NBA. Both left-handed, both guys that are shifty with the basketball and play with great tempo.
Guerra draws the blocking foul. That'll go against Reggie Gardner. R.J. Cole out of St. Anthony High School. That's in northern New Jersey. Comes in averaging nearly 24 a game. These are his first 3. This kid's got unlimited range.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905. And in part by Toy Story Land, opening this summer at Walt Disney World Resort.
You got to sprint back and get in this gap. Everybody clear with that? All right, then we'll go 1. All right, y'all know in 1 we hot in 2 and 13. Everybody got that? We got to be there. All right, don't let them split. Guards don't go under the screen and make it look like it's one big man up there. That's unfair to them.
Well, Coach Moulton's club has forced a couple of turnovers here in the early going, and they have been able to maximize those, turning them into points, and that's the whole point when you face a guy like R.J. Cole who can really hurt you if you let him keep the basketball in his hands.
Well, you love when your players start the game off by following the scouting report to a T. Number 2 in blue is going to be trapped each time he uses a ball screen. The Eagles get out in transition, unable to finish. But with authority, Douglas following the play. And be sure, this team worked on this every day. It's hard to simulate a guy like Cole, but when your assignment is simply whenever he uses a ball screen to trap it, you have to follow that for a full 40 minutes.
On the inbound, Reggie Gardner stepped on the sideline, and so it's a turnover to give it back to Howard. These two teams squared off back in late January as Cole shoots an air ball with a couple of hands in his face. They went to overtime in that first meeting, with Howard winning in Washington, D.C. 78-74. A lot of overtime games this year for Coach Nickelberry's club, and they are 2-3 in the extra sessions. 5-7 in league play, and the Bison very much in the mix for a good seed at the upcoming MEAC tournament. Use the screen to get the ball back to Cole. He gives it to Lewis. I would think defensively that's pretty good for NC Central. You didn't turn him over, but you got somebody else to shoot the basketball.
You're speeding him up, and you're taking the ball out of his hands and forcing other guys to have to play bigger than what their role actually is.
Shot's a little strong for Douglas. Rebound pulled down by Cameron Lewis, Jr. from Buffalo, New York. And here comes Cole. Of course, Trey Young of Oklahoma leads everybody in scoring. The only other freshman in the country in the top 50 in scoring is Marvin Bagley III. The guy in the middle amongst all scoring freshmen, R.J. Cole. He's got 5.
You can see right there, he has a full package on the offensive end. We've seen the 3 there in transition for the 15-footer. But North Carolina Central in a nice flow offensively because they've got easy opportunities. The screen, the roll, and replace. And Douglas locked and loaded, feet set, hands ready to simply catch and shoot. You're going to see Gardner use the ball screen. The big setter is going to roll, and Douglas is going to be the replace guy. His hands were ready. Knocked down a big-time 3.
He only averages 3.9 points per game, Jason. He's already got 7 on the board. And that triple snapped a 7-0 Bison run. This is Kyle Foster with a basketball, freshman from Hampton, Virginia. Cole crosses over Garrett, steps back, finds a cutting teammate. Lewis denied. Out of bounds. Howard keeps with 4 seconds on the shot clock.
North Carolina Central doing an excellent job shrinking the floor. Help side is always in position, and when you drive the lane, there are hands there to contest.
Jordan Perkins hits it back from Guerra, and the Eagles will reload. 13:37 remaining first half. They are inside McClendon McDougal Gymnasium on the campus of North Carolina Central. Good defense by Lewis to force that tough shot. The Eagles will keep the basketball. Well, Coach Moten has been coaching his tail off this year as he is being quieted by one of the officials. He's a young man or a coach who has had to replace 7 seniors. They lost to graduation, and even though it is late February, that still means something.
Well, it does. But he has talented freshmen in the backcourt. Davis, one of the best bigs in all of the MEAC. A solid team that continues to get better, albeit young. This isn't a team I think anyone's going to want to face when they get to Norfolk, Virginia.
They saw not a lot of returning minutes for NC Central. For one of the all-time greats, both as a player and as a coach. He just recently passed Gregory Jackson, who was his head coach when Lavelle was a high-flying guard here. I joked with him a couple of weeks ago. The only man who kept Lavelle Moten from scoring 2,000 points in his career was his coach, because he didn't play him much as a freshman.
He put up big numbers in 3 seasons. I got to tell you, he wasn't much of a high flyer, but he's a guy that could shoot it as soon as he crossed half court. One of the best shooters growing up, watching him play high school basketball at Raleigh-Enloe. A guy that could fill it up in any gym he stepped foot in.
Yeah, his career three-point percentage was 40. He told me today that he very nearly transferred out of here after his freshman year. He was all set to go to NC State until Coach Jackson convinced him to stay and said, you know what, I'll give you the basketball and you can do your thing here. He was seeing his first cousin, Donald Williams, at North Carolina, getting it done.
That's right.
Most outstanding player at the Final Four. And he's like, well, I'm as good as him. I can go get mine in the ACC. And he could have. He could have gone and played at NC State, but decided to stay put. And what a life-changing decision that has turned out to be now decades later.
Well, isn't that what any player wants to hear? I'm going to put the ball in your hands and let you go.
Yep.
So you hear that. You understand, you worked hard, you have opportunity. It's up to you as a player to step up and get the job done. This freshman backcourt for North Carolina Central is getting the job done here in this first half. Jordan Perkins attacking early, get to a spot. Nice little 15-foot pull-up.
One of the best things about Perkins I like, Jason, is that he does not turn the ball over that much. He's got a real good assist-to-turnover ratio, gets the ball where it needs to be. Deep three by Kyle Foster. Eagles basketball. C.J. Williams checks back in for Howard. And he has yet to get going. We'll have another big Monday Sonic blockbuster for you on ESPN. Trae Young, number 23 Oklahoma, taking on number 13 Kansas at the Fog, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Can the Sooners right the ship, or are they going to wind up on the NCAA bubble?
Well, it doesn't get any easier. You're talking about having to try to right that ship going to the Fog. Devontae Graham playing great basketball, leading the Jayhawks. A resurgence now late in the season.
2 on the shot clock. Good defense by the Bison. And that is a shot clock violation. NC Central on top by 8 over the Howard Bison. It's a MEAC Monday in Durham.
Gatorade.
Back in Durham, NC Central with an 8-point lead over Howard. With Jason Capel, I'm Doug Sherman, and there is number 13, C.J. Williams. You can see he's got the C.J. for Charles Jr., sophomore out of Millwood High School in Richmond, Virginia. But he's got another nickname that he goes third person on that helps fire him up. He goes by the nickname Bean, as in Kobe Bean Bryant. So Kobe gets in his head he's going to get up shots and he's going to get buckets. C.J. Bean Williams has that same sort of mechanism that his coach laughed about this morning. Says if it gets him going, and he's already a 1,000-point scorer, as you see, and he's still just a sophomore.
In 2 years, over 1,000 points. You know, when you have that Mamba mentality, that's something that can take you to another level. So if I'm his coach, the same as Coach Nickelberry, whatever gets you going and playing the right way and helping the Bison get to the winner's circle, young man, I'm all for it.
Yeah, here's number 13, Bean, preseason first-team all-conference, last year's Rookie of the Year in the MEAC, going to work.
Little Kobe-esque fadeaway, right to left crossover, finds his feet. These guys can take and make really tough shots. You talk about this backcourt with Cole and Williams.
Well, he scored 493 points as a freshman, long since passed that this year as a sophomore. Immediate double team, gets the ball out of the blocks, back out front to Guerra. Once again, shot clock winding down. And we've got a foul on the rebound as Dominique Reed gets called for the over the back.
Some people are known as shooters, and other guys are known as scorers. C.J. Williams is a scorer. You see the right to left crossover creates enough separation, and a natural fade on that jump shot creates enough space to knock it down.
Well, he's feeling it. A little strong on that one. Ball goes out of bounds back to the Eagles. Well, they're not the Philadelphia 76ers, although they wear red and blue here at Howard University. But Kevin Nickelberry did say repeatedly this morning while we spoke, trust the process. He kept saying that, trust the process, just like the 76ers do, and he feels like they are building once again towards something with this terrific backcourt. Dominique Reed with his first 2 points. They've got a guy named Chad Lott, does Howard. Rice transfer sitting out. Will have a couple of years eligibility left. They did a nice job again on the recruiting trail. Coach Nickelberry says if there's one thing I can do, it's recruit.
Absolutely. He's done an excellent job getting things right in the classroom with his players. And when you recruit good players and allow them to gel together, you have a chance to have a special ball club. And the youth on this team is only going to improve with 2 of the top 3 scorers in all of the MEAC.
And in spite of that, Howard is still playing with 2 walk-ons in its rotation. And they're still trying to build. Here comes Cole off the turnover. Fends off the defender with the right arm and missed with the shot. Here's another walk-on one for NC Central. John Guerra spent his freshman year at the Naval Academy. Williams is fouled by Larry McKnight Jr. First foul on the redshirt junior out of North Miami, Florida. Young man who won 3 state championships in Florida, Norland High School. Juwan Huell was one of his teammates there, of course, now with the Miami Hurricanes. And you see Cole's going to get a break, as is Cameron Lewis. Marcus Hall has come into the game for the first time, presume until the under-8 media timeout.
Well, it's going to be a short break for Cole. The young man is averaging just under 38 minutes a game. He spends most of his time on the floor trying to create opportunities for the Bison.
The trap works, forces the turnover. Raekwon Harney into the game with a basketball. 5'10" redshirt senior out of Winston-Salem.
North Carolina Central wants to run opportunistically early, but if they can't get something quick, they're going to run their offense in the half court, trying to get that ball inside to Davis. Active hands by Howard, able to come up with that turnover.
Foster off the switch, crosses over into the lane and gets fouled. Second foul on McKnight. And that'll send Foster to the line.
Some nifty ball handling by the Foster. Left to right crossover, got his footprints in the paint. And he had bad intentions as he went up high. McKnight got him from behind, and Foster earns a trip for 2 at the foul line.
Foster's out of the same high school, same conference, the Peninsula District, as Tennessee's James Daniel, who you might remember was the most prolific scorer at Howard before he transferred this year to Tennessee. Trying to follow that same path. And Foster is a guy who twice got cut from his junior varsity team and had to find his way, and openly admitted that he struggled with his confidence a little bit. Wasn't sure he's ever going to get a Division I scholarship, but he certainly has gotten it now.
You play in that Peninsula District in the Tidewater area, you're facing Division I players on a nightly basis. You have no other choice but to get better. And once again, when Raekwon Harney comes in the game, he is a true point guard looking to get everyone else involved. There draws the second defender. And we talked about Reggie Gardner Jr. He's a sharpshooter supreme, 3-ball corner pocket.
Off the steal, Larry McKnight throws it down.
I refer to Larry McKnight as a power guard. This young man is built like a tank, and you see the nimble feet there for the steal and an uncontested jam in transition.
6'4", 230. His first 2 points make it 25-16 NC Central. Four to shoot. Williams going to have to go. Gardner kicks to the corner. McKnight gets the friendly bounce. 8 unanswered points for the Eagles.
We call that the shooter's roll. The Eagles attacking early and often, pushing transition, but very unselfish play getting the ball up the floor, forcing turnovers, and McKnight goes up high for a big-time jam.
Efficient game on the year. Came first time against the Jayhawks when the Sooners took down Kansas. A lot of parallels between Trae Young and his dad, Rayford, of course, was a great scorer at Texas Tech back in the day. And R.J. Cole and his father, Robert, who was a tremendous scorer back in the day at LIU Brooklyn, helped the Blackbirds get to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 1982. And like father, like son.
Great genes. The fathers are good, and they pass down that talent and presumably that work ethic to their boys to go out and chase their dreams as well.
McKnight up ahead of the field, unable to make the connection. Arnie's pass just a little too tall, and so the Bison get the ball back. R.J. Cole listed at 6'1". He acknowledged this morning, well, maybe I'm a little under 6 feet, but with the hair, I'd say 6'1", 6'2". Well,
it doesn't matter how big or tall you are. Do you have the heart? Do you have the game? And R.J. Cole has shown he is a natural-born scorer that can take it against anyone in the country. He's unafraid, he's skilled, he's talented. And he has a coach that allows him the freedom to play his game.
5 points so far tonight for R.J. Cole, the leading scorer in the MEAC at nearly 24 per game. Here he is with the basketball again. Lefty shot, off the mark. Arnie quickly up ahead. Arnie on the pick and roll. In they go to Reed, and the Niagara transfer goes to the left hand.
And there's that high-low that's a staple of Coach Moten ball clubs. They love to use the ball screen, the horn action, have the big roll, throw it to the guy top of the key, and look to get it right inside.
Williams no. Reed the rebound. Baseline shot by Gardner off the mark. Here comes Cole trying to snap what's been a long spell for the Bison. He was fouled.
Here you see the horns action. Reed is going to roll top of the key, and he does his work early. 2 feet in the paint. Fakes over the left shoulder. Comes over the right with that nice touch with the left hand.
Reed coming off a good game last time out against Maryland Eastern Shore, senior who was honored before that game. He's had a long path. Dominique Reed spent his freshman year, as mentioned, at Niagara. He was actually there 2 years redshirted and bounced around a bit before landing at NC Central. Has seen his role this year for Coach Moten come and go, but he's been playing well here in the month of February. Mingo turns the corner, runs into a brick wall, and a foul is called on Davis.
When you're laboring to score, you love the fact that Howard now looking to turn the corner, get downhill, having the other players now the opportunity to attack and get to the foul line with a chance, the clock stopped, to put points on the board and find a rhythm to each individual.
Second foul on Rashawn Davis. He'll check out of the ball game and be replaced by Reed. Our next Super Tuesday doubleheader starts at 7 Eastern in the Big Ten, with number 2 Michigan State hosting Illinois at the Breslin Center. Then Kentucky will take on Arkansas. Both games on ESPN and the ESPN app. That's tomorrow night beginning at 7 o'clock. What do you make of Michigan State? They had, and Purdue too. I mean, and for that matter, the Ohio State. You've got the 3 teams atop the Big Ten Conference that have each taken their turns, making you think that they were the team.
Well, I think Michigan State is really good. They check all the boxes. A team that defends, controls the backboard. Miles Bridges has shown he's a big-time player that can take and make winning shots and do all the little things to help that team win big-time ball games.
First foul on Perkins, and the 7th against NC Central. Only 2 fouls have been called against Howard here in the first half. There's the double team, but the foul is called, giving a bump Pablo Rivas.
And Doug, that's all Cole has to do. If they're going to trap the ball screen or try to blitz it, if I'm a guard, the ball's in my hands, a big is trying to contain me, I drop my inside shoulder, go into another gear, and simply attack his hip. There's no way these bigs can stay in front of him. He continues to attack. He'll earn trips to the line with a chance to now get himself into an offensive flow.
Now Cole hit his first 2 shots from the floor, has missed his last 4. He's a 77% foul shooter. And he is going to be the last of a long line of great point guards out of St. Anthony. Terry DeHare among those who went before him, and he said Terry is actually the one he is closest to and has learned the most from. But of course that tremendous program coached for so many years by Bob Hurley Sr. turned out David Rivers, who went to Notre Dame. Of course the Hurley boys, Danny and Bobby, Tyshawn Taylor. But again, it's Terry DeHare who he says has been most impactful in his life. Running shot, a little too strong by Hardy. Here comes Cole. The Eagles get back defensively. Doesn't stop him from stepping back and firing away. Here comes Perkins, who lost it.
Perkins trying to play a little too fast there. Never had complete control of that basketball. Miles Howard, chance to attack, but they're just having trouble finishing plays even when they get good looks in the paint.
Hardy gives to Perkins. And Coach Moten said earlier today that of Jordan Perkins, he's a competitor, but he needs to learn better how to manage the game. There he sets up his teammate. Hardy drills the 3.
Now you have 2 point guards on the floor. Great ball handling and the decision making. When you get your footprints in the paint and put the defense in rotation, it can create easy opportunities for your offense.
Nate Garvey nails the 3. Young man on an academic scholarship coming out of St. Joseph Regional High School in northern New Jersey.
Howard desperately needed to see the ball go through the hoop on an offensive possession. Nice job by Garvey stepping up and knocking down a 3.
You remember what you got on your SAT?
I got enough to be accepted into the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and to be honest, that was my main objective. Had a nice GPA, but now with the scales continue to go higher and higher, student athletes have to do the job in the classroom to fulfill their requirements. And R.J. Cole, you can't rest when you're defending this young man. In transition is where he can make you pay the most. Spotted up in the corner, doing the job, but first, Garvey, you take the fake, he rises up and knocks it down. And you see there, Hardy, too far away, too much space. 3-ball corner pocket by Cole.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Kraft, Family Greatly, and Sam Adams. Fill your glass.
That's the Lucky Strike Tower over downtown Durham. We are here. Uptown, which way from downtown are we? Do you know?
I'm not exactly sure. I spent most of my time a little bit further the other direction.
Okay.
In Chapel Hill. Though I did spend quite a bit of time here at North Carolina Central, a great place for students to grow and frequent.
Now, this is a long and storied basketball program. Second foul on Jones, as you see. NC Central claims 2 different people in the Naismith Hall of Fame. I mean, that doesn't happen every day. You've got the greatest player of all time to ever be an Eagle, Sam Jones, whose number is retired and hanging on the wall to our right. And then former head coach back in the day, John McClendon, whose name is on the building now. He also is in the Naismith Hall of Fame. He had several distinctions beyond his time here, including being the first ever black head coach at a white university at Cleveland State. Dominique Reed for the second time going over his right shoulder to great effect.
Coach McClendon did a lot of great things to move the game of basketball forward. You talk about bigger than the game. He's one of the guys that helped push the needle.
Back when he was the head coach here at what is now called North Carolina Central from 1941 to 1952, this place was called North Carolina College for Negroes, and then he actually left here to go to what was then called Hampton Institute. Spent a year at Hampton, now a MEAC rival. And then his time at Cleveland State University, 1967. Good ball movement by Howard. Easy two by Zion Cousins.
And it's all created because R.J. Cole continues to shift the defense. Two guys are following him. When he gives it up, if the Bison look to attack, they have numbers to create opportunities for high percentage shots.
And Howard needs production out of people other than Cole and Williams, and you'd look first to Zion Cousins. You know, he's a freshman who has missed time lately for personal reasons. Back in the lineup here tonight. He's really their only effective rebounder, and they just need him to be active inside.
When you look at talk about Cole and Williams. 29 points for Cole, 25 points for Williams in the initial game where they got the victory in overtime against North Carolina Central. These guys can score the basketball. We understand that. The others have to step up and carry the load producing as well.
Reed's been effective. Give him 8 points.
He's a right-hand player, but I tell you what, he loves going over that right shoulder. That little left-hand hook. Great touch by the big man.
He's a crafty veteran. McKnight picks up the loose ball. Perkins kicks to the corner. Garrow a little strong in the jump shot. McKnight after the offensive rebound, and he was fouled. Wednesday we'll have an ACC Sonic Blockbuster doubleheader. Number 14 North Carolina and Syracuse from the Carrier Dome at 7 o'clock Eastern. My alma mater against yours. We know the Orange will come out on top. And when that one's over, it's on to Cameron Indoor. Your brothers Duke Blue Devils will be taking on Louisville. Both games on ESPN and the ESPN app.
North Carolina playing great basketball of late. Syracuse trying to continue to find a way to get that NCAA tournament bid. They need to continue to win. The job that Coach Padgett has done at Louisville needs to be commended. And the Duke Blue Devils, without Marvin Bagley III, continue to find ways as a team to win ball games.
Perkins, no. And there is Cousins on the glass. Williams. With 1 second on the clock, the heave is off the mark by Perkins. But a solid first half has Lavelle Moton's Eagles of NC Central heading to the locker room on top by 7. The league's leading scorer, R.J. Cole, carrying the way for the Bison with 12. Back with a halftime report right after this.
Gatorade.
A little taste of the flavor here in Durham, North Carolina. It is a MEAC Monday with NC Central leading Howard by 7, and there's no question Jason Capel, that young lady, was the star of the show.
Or she was sassy out there with the dance moves, leading the charge. An excellent halftime show here for everyone.
All right, this is President's Day, of course, and so we're going to go a little theme for you here. For Mount Rushmore, if we had to put 4 faces of this year's college basketball season coast to coast on the Mount Rushmore, who would those 4 guys be?
Well, first of all, it's tough to only pick 4, but if you're forcing me to pick them, you have to go out to Arizona to Ayton, a big man that does a little bit of everything. You see the double-doubles. In my opinion, the best player in college basketball right here in Durham. Marvin Bagley III has to get back healthy for the Blue Devils. Jalen Brunson doesn't get talked about enough. He's the point guard of one of the best teams in the country, a floor general who loves to post up as well. And Trae Young, simply doing an excellent job throughout the season, is learning now how the defenses are playing him. He has to continue to make adjustments. But a guy as a freshman that's leading the country in points and assists, that's something you have to give the recognition it deserves.
No Miles Bridges, no Mikal Bridges. Come on!
You got Mikal Bridges, you got Miles Bridges, you got Devontae Graham, you got Mo Bamba. You made me pick 4.
Back with the start of second half. Right after this. Welcome back to Big Monday, presented by Joseph A. Bank. With Jason Capel, I'm Doug Sherman with NC Central leading by 7. Let's show you the first half highlights. And we start with the Eagles and their defense.
And their defense got the job done early, trapping R.J. Cole each time he uses the ball screen, unable to finish, but Douglas follows it up in emphatic fashion for the jam. And just so active, shooting passing lanes. There you see McKnight. Also, easy high percentage shots by the Eagles, doing the job on the defensive end, creating opportunities. And for Howard, we understand who it's going to be. The point guard, the lefty, R.J. Cole, 12 points in the first half. Very efficient, scoring at all 3 levels. A little momentum play there to end the half with that 3-point shot from the corner.
NC Central starts the second half of the basketball, and just 8 seconds in, they're on the board once again. Reggie Gardner out at DeMatha Catholic High School with another 3-point shot.
This may be a young backcourt for North Carolina Central. When you talk about Gardner and Perkins, 2 guys that come from great stock. What I mean by that, DeMatha, Mike Jones, who leads that program, a historic program. When you talk about Perkins, Greensboro Day School, Freddie Johnson, one of the best coaches in the state of North Carolina. These guys have been well-schooled and coached hard to be ready to produce early here at the college level.
How about Adrian Dantley, Sidney Lowe, Derek Wittenberg, Mike Gray, Danny Ferry, Jared Jack, Victor Oladipo.
You can roll them off. We're talking about DeMatha.
We're talking DeMatha.
And how about their head coach? Played for my father at Old Dominion. Mike Jones was a sharpshooter himself, a guy that played hard. And taking over for a legend is never easy, but he's done an excellent job continuing the excellence at DeMatha.
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones.
Replacing Morgan Wooten. And another DeMatha grad was on the NBA All-Star coverage last night for TNT, David Aldridge. Although he did not play basketball there. What do you think of Fergie's rendition of the national anthem last night?
I think I've seen enough memes throughout social media. I'm in agreement with everyone. Wasn't the best we've heard.
She did come out and issue a statement today saying, yeah, I blew it. It was not what I was trying to get across. Didn't go so well.
Well, at least he owned up to it.
Yeah.
But the players, when the camera panned to the players and the looks on their faces.
Draymond.
Shock, awe, and laughing as well.
Inside they go where the Eagles have an advantage, and the foul is called. That will send Zachary Douglas to the free throw line.
I've been really impressed by the play of Rashawn Davis. He's a guy averaging 15 points per game. He's accustomed to scoring the basketball, but right now he's being doubled on the catch each time down the floor. An unselfish play with Douglas diving to the front of the rim. Nice pass, and earns his teammate a trip to the line where he knocks down the first.
And that's the case, I imagine, whereas Coach Nickelberry has to pick his poison, because if you don't go double Davis, he makes nearly 70% of his shots from the floor.
And he plays bully ball. If you allow him to get the ball 2 feet in the paint, so big, so strong, with nimble feet as well, he will carve out space and make you pay. So you must pick your poison. The issue is he's an active facilitator in this contest, doing a nice job getting others involved.
It's a 7-0 run for the Eagles. Here's R.J. Cole, the 6th leading scorer in the nation, tops in the MEAC, forces one there. Got bailed out as the Eagles were the last to touch out of bounds.
And just not a lot of space for R.J. Cole. When he turns the corner and gets downhill, the Eagles doing an excellent job rotating their defense to the ball and contesting everything in the paint.
Cole had opportunities to go to other places at higher-rated schools and conferences. Monmouth was probably the other finalist. Cole with the bucket there. He's got 14, but he wanted to come and experience the HBCU lifestyle. And at Howard University, you get a first-class, world-class education.
He said he wanted to be different. He wanted to go somewhere, HBCU, where he could grow as a young man, both on and off the floor. And not many places better than Howard University, right in Washington, D.C. Coach Nickelberry believes in this young man, has given him the basketball. And there will be brighter days ahead for the Bison.
Now, Coach Nickelberry very clearly calls R.J. Cole a future pro. I mean, he really thinks he has that kind of ceiling.
When a guy can step in, be handed the basketball as a freshman, and score at the rate that this young man is scoring. I mean, he makes a living at the foul line, plays with great pace and confidence, and he's fearless. He's only a freshman. He's going to continue to get better. And as I said before, that is not a good sign for the other coaches throughout the MEAC.
Well, you want to know how I know he's going to be the MEAC Rookie of the Year? As we take a look at how he gets it done all around in different ways. They've named 11 MEAC Rookies of the Week this season. He's 11 for 11.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep.
Just give him the award right now.
Yep.
And he's earned it. He's going to be in the conversation. His team's record may not be the top of the league. You cannot take away the individual talent and what this young man has been able to do in conference play. He'll be in conversation for not only Rookie of the Year, but Player of the Year as well.
And you know, when Cole first got to Howard, he had been promised by Coach Nickelberry that he'd give him the ball. He knew when he was recruited out of high school it was going to be his turn. And James Daniel had moved on as a grad transfer on to Tennessee, and so there was going to be no fight over the basketball or shots there. And RJ said he started to realize very early this season that he was going to be able to score and sustain it. Game 2 at Indiana, 27 points. Game 3 at Gonzaga, Bulldogs were given everything they could to try and stop him, and he still was able to put 16 points on the board. And he said, at that point, I felt pretty good about the ability I'm going to have to score points in college ball.
He felt like he could do this.
He could do it.
5 30-point games, hung 42 on UNC Wilmington. This guy is a natural-born scorer. And you couple that with a coach that gives you the ball and gives you the freedom to not only score, but to make mistakes and play through those mistakes. That's something that's only going to enable you to get better as the season progresses.
Third foul on Jalen Jones sends Jordan Perkins to the foul line. You see any similarities between the way Lon Kruger, the Oklahoma coach, how he handles Trae Young and how Kevin Nickelberry has handled R.J. Cole?
You allow them to play and be exactly who they are. Who you recruit these players to be when you talk about a Trae Young or R.J. Cole, you can't get them here and now try to change it. These coaches are allowing these young men to be who they are, give them freedom and space to make mistakes, but the belief that you're going to continue to get better. We've seen 2 young point guards doing the job, scoring, but what I love, they assist and facilitate as well, unselfish basketball players.
Cole calls his own number, lays it in for 2 more. Cole now has 18 points. Now, you were a Division I head coach, Appalachian State. Don't you tell every kid who you are recruiting that you're going to come in and be the man?
You don't tell every kid, but there are kids you're recruiting that you understand can be program-changing players, and those are the kids that you let know. If you choose to play for my university and lead my program, that's exactly what I want you to do, lead the program. R.J. Cole, as I've said time and time again, he's a young man that's a great building block for Coach Nickelberry.
Douglas the block shot, triggers Guerra on the run out. It's a 14-point lead for NC Central.
Coach LaBelle Moulton said he wanted to attack early, and his defense is allowing his ball club the opportunities to get in transition. But it starts with defense. A great job there by Douglas. Fakes and stops the play, then goes up and blocks the shot. Guerra getting out in transition. You pitch the ball up. The pass is a lot faster than the dribble. Easy opportunity for the Eagles.
Nate Garvey has returned to the lineup for the Bison. Marcus Hall also back out there. He's got the basketball now. One of 2 walk-ons in the rotation for Coach Nickelberry. He's got it with 3 to shoot, so he does. Ball kept alive by Garvey, who went down hard. Well, I asked you what your SAT was back in the first half, and the reason I did is because Nate Garvey, a young man out of Nanuet, New York, not only had a 4.0 GPA in high school and a 29 ACT, he scored 1,700 on his SAT.
Well, that's impressive. That's the definition of a student athlete. A guy that does the job not only on the floor, but puts in the time and concentration to do it in the classroom as well. Coach Nickelberry, that's what he wants to build his program on. Guys that not only can come in and help his ball club turn the corner and win basketball games, but do the job in the classroom and in the community as well. And he has a team full of them. And that's the reason they're going to win a lot of basketball games moving forward.
And Garvey, as mentioned, was on an academic scholarship last year while he redshirted. Got a big upside for the Bison over the next 3+ years. Open look. And that is Howard basketball. We'll step away with the Eagles on top by 13 over the Bison.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Toy Story Land, opening this summer at Walt Disney World Resort. And Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Welcome back to Big Monday, presented by Joseph A. Bank. And that is called the Sound Machine, a tremendous brass section in the Sound Machine, getting it done here tonight in Durham.
Oh, the lovely tunes. That's what you love about coming to HBCU sporting events. The bands are a game within themselves. We've heard the latest tunes coming out and very impressed. Lavelle Moulton wanting his team to take care of the basketball. 9 turnovers in this ball game. Shooting over 50%. He doesn't want his ball club to take their foot off the gas here in this second half.
Well, Jason, you're somebody who grew up very much closely associated and within the HBCU world, yet you chose to go to the University of North Carolina, play for the Tar Heels. What was part of your decision-making process, and how was your childhood impacted by the fact that your dad was a coach for so many years at an HBCU school?
Well, this is what I grew up in. HBCUs, my father was the coach at Federal State for a number of years in the CIAA. Then he went on to North Carolina A&T, led North Carolina A&T to the NCAA tournament where they lost to Arkansas. And you just love the traditions, the history, and the fact that so many legacies are built there. Families continue to, parents, their children's children continue to go. That's the beauty of it. So much history involved. My dream was to be a North Carolina Tar Heel. I was blessed to have the opportunity to become good enough and for Coach Smith to offer me a scholarship. I think I made a good choice, but the great thing about this area, you have Shaw University, you have St. Aug University, you have North Carolina Central. You're able to get that HBCU experience even going a few miles down the road in Chapel Hill.
Foul on Reed as the shot clock went off. There you see some of the Carolina connections from my partner here tonight. Played in the Final Four in 2000 at UNC. Of course, your older brother's an top assistant for Coach K at Duke University, not that far from where we sit here. That brings me to a story that I don't think people around the country know so much about. There was what was called a secret game, as now the officials are going to come over to the scorer's table to see if the foul occurred before the shot clock went off. But back in 1944, of course, we lived in a segregated South at that time. And so there was basically an illegal game that was organized by Duke University and by North Carolina Central. As we take another look. indeed watch to see if the foul happens before the 0, and sure looked like it did to me, and it looked like one replay will do it for the officials. But the secret game on a Sunday morning, they quietly drove the players from Duke University over to where we are here. The building stood next door, not this building, and there was a black versus white basketball game that nobody could attend and nobody knew about. But it was the start of integrating basketball in this part of the country. They called it the secret game.
And in order to improve and challenge yourself, you have to play against the best. And you look back to the national championship game where Adolph Rupp, his team against Texas Western, which is now UTEP, the same thing. And you measure yourself, you have to step outside of your comfort zone. And anytime players, people get opportunities to do great things and the doors are open to everyone, it only makes our culture, the game, and society as a whole move forward.
And that secret game, well said, Jason, that secret game was played 22 years before Texas Western, the all-black school, or rather all-black basketball team, beat the all-white Kentucky Wildcats.
Started 5 players and only played 5 players in that game. And so historic, and you love the fact that that changed the landscape of college basketball, of sports, and society as a whole. Sports is something that can bring everyone together. People have the opportunity to better themselves. Those doors have to be open.
You mentioned earlier that a lot of the schools that are now currently in the MEAC were in the CIAA as Cole misfires. I learned from Corey Alexander last week, actually, familiarly, the CIAA is just called the CI. Just in case you didn't know that, I want to let you know that.
Well, it's called the CI. The CI is coming for their tournament to Charlotte in another week. And I remember as a kid, Fayetteville State and North Carolina Central, that was a big-time rivalry. And growing up, that's what I saw, the intensity, the players. As you see the big-time block there up top, the officials are going to call a goaltending. But the game, the cheerleaders, the crowd, the bands, something special about an HBCU. And that's a great call there. The shot had hit the backboard before North Carolina Central player had gone up and got it. Absolutely a goaltending call. Howard University pulling within 9, trying to find a way to turn the corner to head ever so closely through this lead.
Reed sets the ball screen. Gardner crosses over Garvey. 5 to shoot. Into the block for Reed. Kick it back outside Perkins, who has to put it up and in.
I didn't think Perkins recognized the shot clock was running down when he gave the ball up inside. But when he kicked back out, he understood he had to let that ball fly. Great recognition by the freshman point guard.
Do you think Reed knew when he kicked it back out?
Absolutely not. His back was to it. He just knew he didn't have a look, and he probably, if he did know, he didn't want that turnover.
Nope. Garvey, nice shot off the glass. Three ball, good by Gardner once again.
Great execution. Coach LaVelle Moulton drawing up a play there to bring your best shooter off a double staggered screen and get him open from 3. And once again, the defense of the Eagles forcing Cole to play in traffic, forcing that turnover. Perkins has the basketball, the double screen is set. And Reggie Gardner Jr. has his feet set, eyes locked. Bang from 3.
Well, Trae Young's father, Rayford, was a tremendous player at Texas Tech back in the day. Young man we're watching tonight, R.J. Cole from Howard University, is part of a top-scoring duo in the country, as is Trae Young and Christian James, putting up better than 43 per game. And R.J. comes by it naturally as well. As we mentioned in the first half, his father who you see there in the blue collared shirt there, Robert Cole. He was a sensational scorer at LIU Brooklyn back in the day, over 1,700 points. And the woman in the white sweatshirt in front of him is RJ's mom, Javicia. And they both came down from New Jersey for the game. And when your son averages 24 points a game, why wouldn't you follow him around the country?
Pop looks like he could still fill it up a little bit.
Cole now with 20 points. His 21st game of 20 or more points this season. I'm guessing Pops can still get it done. 1,793 career points. He was only 5'10". He had to take trains all the way from New Jersey to Brooklyn to play his college ball at LIU Brooklyn. Took him 90 minutes each way just to play.
That's dedication. It paid off. Almost 1,800 points. North Carolina Central there. Perkins, we've said his name quite a bit. What's his biggest skill? Taking care of the basketball, making others better. Creates an easy opportunity for Reed inside.
C.J. Williams forces it up. Ball still loose. And now tempers flare as Williams gets up holding his head. Let's take a look to see where Cole got dinged as well.
You see him limping after this play. Simply lost his feet, grabbing and pointing to his left ankle. You hate to see anyone get hurt, but this young man means so much to this ball club. He's going to stay on the floor. That's a great sign for Coach Nickelberry.
This is Coach Nickelberry in his 8th year at Howard. 1986 grad of Virginia Wesleyan. He's a DC native, back home coaching at Howard. Foster to the corner for Williams. He's got it. Timeout. Bison. Well, if Howard is going to cut this 10-point deficit and get back in it, they need a bigger contribution from number 13, Williams, for 3.
Your digest.
Well, the crowd is fully engaged, as we expected it to be, from the young lady in the cow outfit.
A little bit of everything. We got the cow outfit. We got the Brothers of Omega South 5 putting on an impromptu step show to my right. The crowd joining in to the tunes from the DJ. Great atmosphere for college basketball.
We're only a few miles from Cameron Indoor Stadium, but it may as well be 1,000 miles.
Absolutely. But you have the same passion and same feel when you walk through those doors. These fans have that eagle pride, trying to cheer their team on to a victory here at home.
Guerra and Perkins in the backcourt. In there with McKnight, Rivas, and Reed. Near turnover, Eagles keep. Reed gives it off. Big bucket for Jordan Perkins.
Well, it's only right. Perkins created an opportunity for Reed a few possessions ago, and there the big fella returns the favor.
I'll tell you what, Dominique Reed is looking like he's one of those guys who understands his college career, which has taken so many turns, is coming to a close, and he's trying to maximize it.
The sense of urgency when you see that light etching ever so closely to your career ending at the college level. You play a little harder, attention to detail increases. Great job defensively there in transition by Howard. Well, a busted play. R.J. Cole with the deflection. Howard unable to come up with it, facing a short shot clock. Reed with the shuffle pass to Perkins. And Perkins just a steady player. Smart, cerebral, takes care of the ball, scores when he has opportunities. What you want from your point guard, leadership, and don't turn the basketball over.
Tough shot by Williams.
That was a tough shot. His legs flailing. Looked like he was walking on air, trying to get higher to get that shot off. Big time finish.
Rivas gets those three right back. Pablo Rivas, the senior from Panama, makes it 67-54.
So difficult to defend the roll and replace action. You have Reed setting the screen and diving to the basket so hard, you have to account for that. Rivas replaces, finds himself wide open, top of the key.
Corner three ball, air ball from Garvey. Rivas the outlet, Perkins up ahead, finds McKnight. A picture-perfect fast break.
That's just beautiful basketball. The ball never touched the floor. The outlet, Perkins head up, ready to kick it ahead. And McKnight, the catch, the corral, an easy finish in transition.
Reed has his hands on Cole, gets called for the personal.
This is textbook. This is what you work on every day in pre-practice to get yourself loose. The outlet turned the correct way, hit up the sideline, and the point guard always looking ahead. And McKnight's a guy that flourishes in transition. An easy two for number 0.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the freshman point guard for Howard, R.J. Coles, but Jordan Perkins averaging 8.5 points, 5 assists per game, hitting 45% of his three-point shots. He has been steady as she goes again here tonight. More importantly, his team has its largest lead of the night at 69-54. Cole gives it back. Rivas with the rejection. Here come the Eagles back the other way.
This is a very defensive-minded team Coach LaVelle Moton has. The attention to detail, they play as one, so connected on that end of the floor.
Inside they go again, and look at the work underneath. We've got a foul on the entry. Rashawn Davis doing work. That takes us to our under 8 media timeout with the Eagles soaring up 15.
Gatorade.
It's time to check out our assist of the game, brought to you by State Farm. Doug Sherman, Jason Capel, and there's no doubt where we're going with this one. Off the good defense. Here they go with the big assist from Perkins.
Well, a textbook fast break. Perfect outlet pass. Point guard looking ahead. The pass on target. McKnight catches it in stride, and what you love there, he finished the play. He pointed to his point guard, thanking him for the pass. That's great team basketball in a great way to score easy buckets in transition.
And that was the 9th assist of the night for Jordan Perkins, one off his career high, which came against SEMO back in early December. And another good sign for the Eagles, Jason. They've made 25 baskets and have assisted on 16 of those 25.
Unselfish basketball team, very connected. 7 minutes to go, but they put together a complete game so far.
It's a byproduct of the coach.
Absolutely.
Well, LaVelle Moton, as we've talked about, had his jersey number retired, foul before the shot, and it'll go the other way against NC Central. But Coach Moton 2 Mondays ago had his number 15 unfurled on the wall to our right. The all-time greats in what was then a Division II program, but as we talked about, he had opportunities to leave and play at the Division I level, chose to stay, and wound up being an assistant, and then the 9th-year head coach now. His standout big, Rashawn Davis, has had a quiet night, and he's just picked up his 4th foul. Now that's a jump shot. Mingo gets off the ground when he puts that up.
He elevates on the catch, the 1-2 step. He gets off the floor, forcing you to go up high to contest it.
Rivas feeding the post into Reed, who's had a big game. Trying to repost, now we'll set the screen. And eventually Reed gets it back, a little pick and pop action.
Dominique Reed has shown you his full arsenal. As I said, he's a right-handed player. He scored the ball 4 times inside with his left hand. And they're showing you the range from 15 feet.
Bean tried to throw it down. Cole for three. Howard will take 3 over 2 anytime. 23 points for the freshman from Union, New Jersey.
And it doesn't look like he's even breathing hard. This young man has had a short break in the first half and continues to play with great pace. And you can never relax when 2 in blue is on the floor, or he will make you pay.
The alley-oop to Rivas.
Right there, you see the North Carolina influence on Coach Lavelle Moulton. That's a little action out of secondary break. The screen and then back screen to find your big going up high for the lob. Great execution, great pass, and an excellent finish. You see the ball screen, there's the back screen. You throw it up high and let your player go up and get it. Throw it down.
First foul on Gardner. It's the 7th on the Eagles, and so it's a 1-and-1 opportunity for Marcus Hall, sophomore walk-on from Woodward Academy in Atlanta. Well, Lavelle Moulton told me earlier today is a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and he comes by it from the fact that when he was a kid growing up in Boston, he and some friends went to a New England Patriots game in Foxborough, their old stadium, and the Steelers were in town. And he and his friends tried to get some autographs. Shot missed by Perkins. Get some autographs after the game, and by his account, the Patriots players were not terribly nice, while the Steelers players were great, and so he's a Steelers fan.
I'm a Steelers fan as well, and I have one thing to say. Great to see Big Ben coming back. Tony Toe Tap is still in the mix, but they must pay Le'Veon Bell. Give that man his money. He's the best running back in football. And once again, the defense doing the job, allowing the Eagles to get out in transition. Rivas to block. Unselfish play once again from Perkins. And McKnight is a bull when he catches it on the run. So tough to defend. A big, strong player that can finish through and over contact.
McKnight looks like he could play for the Steelers. You know, Lavelle Moulton also said that he has, over the course of time, forged quite a close relationship with the Steelers head coach, Mike Tomlin, who he says is the best coach he's ever been around. And actually, Lavelle goes to Steelers training camp every year and is allowed access into all of their practices and meetings to be able to get a sense of coaching from that angle.
You can only get better by being around other great minds. Steel sharpens steel. Mike Tomlin, Super Bowl champion, has shown what a great job he can do. A great guy to pick his mind and continue to get better in your craft as well. Comfortable lead here. North Carolina Central holding the basketball, and Howard's not coming up to pressure it, allowing the Eagles to run valuable time off the clock.
Rivas wide open. Williams taps to Garvey. Bison with it. Under 4 minutes to go. Garvey steps into a 3. No need to hurry for Jordan Perkins, taking his time just to cross the midcourt stripe, and he uses a timeout. When we come back, we'll tell you why the popular phrase Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike means a little more to that man when we come back. Well, when Ralph Tresvant said the famous words, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, if I like the girl, who cares who you like, why does that mean something to Lavelle Moulton? You know what it means, right?
A native of Boston, he's an honorary member of New Edition.
He grew up with those guys.
Grew up with the guys, and I tell you, if we asked him to do the dance steps along with New Edition right now, he could break out every move on time with great precision. Now, I don't think he's a great singer, but he does have the dance moves down to fall in line.
Well, if his mom hadn't moved the family from Boston down here to North Carolina, it could have been Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Lavelle.
And Vail.
Just had a great time chatting with Coach Moten for about an hour after their practice today. Throw down by Davis, who's had a quiet night, but he stretches the lead to 18.
You love when your team's out of timeouts. Pay attention and come out and execute. A great screen on the baseline creates an open angle for Davis to receive that ball and finish.
Williams with a fancy finish. He's up to 16 points. And another flush by Davis.
Once again, double figures assist for Jordan Perkins. He saw the trap coming, took a step back. His eyes were locked straight ahead. And you must protect the rim. Rule number one. Too easy of an opportunity for Davis.
Yeah, this is second double-double. He keeps trending, Jordan Perkins does, in the right direction late in the season. Look out for McKnight, the Euro step, but then the block shot. I think the whole building felt like something was going to happen there. That big man was moving.
That's a big boy coming full speed ahead. But Jordan Perkins doing the job as a point guard, recognizing the change in defense, saw the trap was coming, took a step back to survey, and found his big man wide open for an easy dunk.
And that is now 13 assists for Perkins. He's got a 13-13 double-double. And that 13 assist mark shatters his previous career high, which was 10. Under 2 minutes to go. Here he goes. Davis did not beat the shot clock, and so the Bison get the ball back. Cole behind his back. And the foul occurred in the act of shooting. Personal against Jalen, or rather against Perkins. Number 3 on the freshman out of Greensboro Day. We'll have another big Monday Sonic blockbuster for you on ESPN. Trae Young and number 23 Oklahoma take on number 13 Kansas. 9 o'clock Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. And if you don't have a timepiece near you, that's about 12 minutes from now. As I mentioned earlier, Trae Young had his most efficient game in Oklahoma's upset win earlier this season over Kansas. But at times he has gotten away from that more efficient approach lately. Why do you think Trae Young's numbers have declined here? And more importantly, Oklahoma's wins have gone away the last month.
Well, I think they go hand in hand. His decline in production and efficiency goes hand in hand with the Sooners not being able to step in the winner's circle. And I think Trae Young said it best. He's being guarded differently than anybody in the country. Well, not many guys go logo shopping, shooting from the logo of every gym. And you have to give the credit as the season goes on, especially in conference play. There are some great coaches in the Big 12. These guys are going to formulate game plans to try to take away what you do best. And Trae Young is having to navigate his way through the season, learning different ways he can be efficient and effective throughout this season.
And people like Devontae Graham, who he will face again tonight, they see SportsCenter, they see all the social media stuff and talk about Trae Young, and when he comes to their barn, my goodness, Cameron Lewis throw it down. The junior out of the Nichols School in Buffalo. Same alma mater as Christian Laettner with his first 2 points.
Oh, a great attack. Bad intentions involved, chest to chest. This young man will take himself a poster back to D.C.
That's a young man who does not have an athletic scholarship either. He's one of the 2 walk-ons in the rotation.
He might have just earned one right there.
Absolutely.
You can attack the rim like that and finish through the contact.
Another rebound for Lewis. Final 30 seconds here in Durham. And with the shot clock off, well, McKnight's not pulling it out. He's throwing it down.
Was there any question whether he would go with the finesse style or straight power when he attacked the paint?
No question. That puts a charge in this crowd one final time. The keys are out up in the student section. NC Central 83, Howard 66. The Eagles improved to 14-13, and as we heard the coach say off the top, last words to his team: go get number 14.
Go get number 14.
They just went and got number 14. Now 8-5 in league play. The Bison dropped to 5-8, 8-21 overall.
A complete game. You talk about following the game plan defensively and then attacking on the offensive end. We saw some highlights to finish this game. The Mamba mentality of Charles Williams attacking the hoop. An emphatic finish. And the capper, McKnight for the Eagles, putting an exclamation point on this win.
We'll take a break and have much more coming up from North Carolina Central University, where Coach Moten receives the congratulations. He's going to join us right after this.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905. And in part by Esurance, auto and home insurance for the modern world.
Carolina Central have picked up a big MEAC win. We're pleased to be joined by Lavelle Moten, the winning head coach.
Yes.
Defense, you guys got after it pretty good here tonight.
We finally guarded someone. You know, we're great in our gym at guarding somebody, but, you know, when we go on the road, you know, it's almost like we have an alter ego. So that's the youth, that's the inexperience, and we got to do a better job of preparing these guys every game and not just on national television games where they're coming out and taking pride in winning their matchups.
Well, Howard's starting backcourt of Cole and Williams can do a lot of damage. They got some points, but throughout the course, nobody else really did anything against you.
That was the plan, to just, you know, any look they have, you know, just make it extremely tough. They're incredible basketball players, and I'm looking, I thought Cole had 45 points, but it's only 24. But they're so loud, and it just leaves you wondering. And he got a tendency to make you look real bad if you're not hedging properly on the ball screen. So he's a great player. We just wanted to make anything and everything extremely difficult for him, and we did that.
We'll talk about your point guard, the freshman, Jordan Perkins. When we talked before the game, you said you wanted him to continue to show toughness. I thought he showed toughness, another double-double. What makes his maturation now as the season progresses continue to get better late in the year?
Man, these freshmen drive me crazy, man. I tell you what, I'm aging in dog years now, so that's the thing about this coaching, man. But, you know, I stay on the kids so much because you see so much potential in them. Yeah. And I look at the stat sheet now, he had 14 assists. Yeah. You know, but he just has to learn how to manage a game just a tad bit better. He tried a superhero pass underneath and then turned it over and got our big, his fourth foul, and now he had to come sit on the bench. So things like that, you know, he has to be cognizant of and understand, and that comes with maturation and evolution. But, you know, with all that said, I'll take 13 and 14 out of point guard anyway.
Absolutely.
If I start the sentence, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Vel.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good.
Can you give us a little Cool It now?
Oh, man, come on, man.
Hey, look, I told him you're not much of a singer, but you could break out the dance moves right now.
I can do all the dance moves, but the singing, I have to go way back in the back, man, and just collect a paycheck on the side. As a matter of fact, the way these kids driving me crazy, I'm going to try to go audition and be the 7th member of the group right now. Anyway,
still on tour.
Make a little change. So if y'all don't see me, y'all know I'm on tour.
Well, we just took another shot of your number 15 up there, retired.
Yeah.
As you guys get rolling towards the MEAC tournament, where do you feel the program is right now?
You know, I think we're in good shape, you know, given the injuries and, you know, the youth and the inexperience and the maturation. It's starting to come together. They're starting to feel good about themselves. And, you know, I just want us to be extremely tough. And that's the mental aspect of the game. And, you know, unfortunately, to acquire toughness, you got to go through some pitfalls, and you got to go through some shortcomings, and you got to taste your own blood a little bit. And hopefully we done tasting our own blood. But the journey's not over. We got 3 tough games, and we got to go back on the road, next Saturday and do it all over again. So it's an unforgiving league, definitely that.
Well, you guys 23 assists on 32 made field goals, and I thought your big fella did a great job understanding he's going to be doubled, head up, finding other guys. What about your team allowed you to come out here against a quality basketball team, share the basketball, and create opportunities for one another?
It's been our focus in practice. When we're good, we get the ball from one side of the floor, back to the other, and back to the other. They're young, and they got a tendency to go, my shot this time, and especially when they hit one. So they're still learning what's a good shot and what's a bad shot. And I say, listen, man, it's not hard. We got a 6'9" guy that can really score the basketball. Yes. So when all else fails, let's just throw it down to him and work off him a little bit. I thought he was timid. He's so accustomed to getting doubled that he didn't attack initially because he was expecting a double team. So they didn't double, and I jumped on him pretty good at the half. Look, man, you got to be aggressive, especially when we're getting you the basketball. And he did that in the second half when he was out of foul trouble.
Well, excellent. Congratulations, and thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Man, thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming here. Hope you love the atmosphere.
Congrats.
Absolutely. Enjoyed it. Final score.